I decided to remake this video because I had done it the day I promised that I was going to make it. The video I promised to make on why many Nigerian women don't take advantage of global opportunities. Why are we not being mentioned there? Why are we not seeing these opportunities? I wanted to share my thoughts and my reflections on this. I had actually made this video before now, but I saw that there was something wrong with my camera positioning. I was trying out something and it didn't quite turn out well. So I decided to remake this video. So why are Nigerian women not taking advantage of free opportunities that can improve them, make them better people? A lot of opportunities are out there, for women. um, there are a lot of organizations who want to help women, you know, so that we'll be able to cover the poverty gap, because there's so many things that are working against women, and some organizations have received funds to ensure that our women are not disadvantaged. But incidentally, when I look around, I see that there are few Nigerian women, who are seeing these opportunities and are taking advantage of them. And it gives me, is a cause for worry for me. So, what are my thoughts about why we're not doing this, why we're not getting some of these opportunities? And in my reflection and in my research, I realized that, for instance, it takes a graduate in Nigeria would be coming out of school at the age of 23, between 23 and 25. Let's say they got into school at 17. I factored in the strikes. We all know how it works in Nigerian universities. Not everyone is able to afford the private universities where you can go to school without the breaks. So let's say you had those strikes, and you're out at 23, 24, or 25 years. Your parents or guardian, they funded you through school. So what happens is people graduate, and of course they will think about going for their youth service. A lot of times, some of them might be thinking about going for further studies. But if I am to advise you, if you find yourself in this situation, I think that what you should do after you have graduated from the university is to go and find a job. Go and get a job. You need to at least prove the education that you have, acquired. Go and find money, go and find a job, because what happens is that at that age, a lot of our girls start facing societal pressure, family pressure, pressure from peers, because their mates at that time are already getting married, settling down. Everyone is asking her, when is your husband coming? Everyone is checking her ring or her finger for her ring. There's a lot of pressure around this age. And if you have been on my platform long enough, you would know that I am one person who is speaking against Nigerian women not going into a man's house in their 20s, because this is one reason why I think that a lot of our women are not able to take advantage of these opportunities, and I am getting there. So she graduates at that age, then thinks about further studies. Nigerian situation, she's not able to get a job. But of course, if you also listen to me, I'm not one of those that believe that people don't get jobs. I believe that you have not done what you need to do to get a job, because in my interaction with a lot of Nigerian youths, honestly, I think they're not doing enough if they really, want to get the good jobs out there. So when you graduate, what you should be doing what the graduates should be doing is to, appraise themselves, appraise yourself. What's the degree that I've gotten? A lot of times people just go into school to just get a degree because either their parents wanted them to study a certain thing, they wrote jams, they didn't, get the cutoff, so they just, take up any course, they just go into the university. So by the time you come out, you should appraise yourself and ask yourself, okay, with this degree I have right now, is this what I wanted to do for myself? Is there something else I should have done? It's a time to reflect. It's a time to think about changes that you could make, you know, to yourself. What other skills do you want to acquire? It's a time to really go into what I would call solitude, to discover yourself, because while you're going through school there may not be that time to do it. You have exams, you have assignments, one thing leading to another, so you don't really have enough time or headspace to sit down and think about what you need to do. So this time that you have graduated from the university is a good time to do that reflection and self-appraisal, to see the gaps in your life that you would want to cover. But instead of our girls to do that, what everyone is telling them is to go and find a husband and to start um, early to make babies and children. And I think that this is a major blocker. So our girls start thinking about these things, and that becomes all their focus, all they're thinking about, instead of finding time to think about themselves and how to improve their lives. They start running to churches, they start moving to prayer houses, they start forming networks and groups where the only thing that they're thinking about and talking about is finding the right guy. And I think that is recipe for disaster. Now, am I saying that people should not think about a man? No. But I mean, you can't be focusing on that when you haven't done the first things. The first things include understanding yourself, knowing exactly what you want, what's your direction in life, because a lot of ladies don't answer these questions, and that's the reason why they move from their parents' home, they move into the man's home, and they start getting very confused because everyone is telling them different things to do. They never had time to think about themselves, they never had time to really understand what they wanted for themselves, because the moment you start going into husband business, making babies and all that, you are just a ball of confusion going nowhere, because from morning till night all you're thinking about is that man and those children. You're doing school runs, you're going to the market, you're cooking, you're ironing, that's all you're doing. You don't have time to think about yourself. So at least for the first 10 years of your life, that's what's going to be happening to you. If you're lucky to be married to that reasonable guy who believes that your time has some value, he would help you with domestic staff, who would support you with some of these chores. But if you're fortunate to find yourself with a man who believes that the measure of a virtuous woman is the one that can cook cook for them different meals at the time they want it, I'm sorry, your life is just going to be that ball of confusion, and you just continue from that point on. And of course you find yourself, your time choked, you don't have time to think, you don't have time to do anything for yourself. How are you going to find opportunities? How are you going to read and um, listen out there for these things that are happening? So this is one way, one of the reasons why our women are losing out in these opportunities, because you just find that you're so entangled in these things, when what you should have been doing would have been to have that time of quietness after school. um, Use that time to map out your goals and the things that you want to achieve, and start pursuing them. So what happens when you find yourself on the path of husband babies instead of on the path of personal development, is that your creativity is channeled in the direction of raising children, building a home. Your energy, the creative part of you, what makes you you, the creative energy you have is now channeled into this mundane activities, if you ask me, instead of being channeled into um, things that would profit you and make you a better person, make you a person of value. Because um, if you had made yourself or found the time to make yourself that person of value, you'll be able to find these opportunities. And I know that some people are going to come under my video and tell me that yes, I still know about one person, because they're always calling one person or the other. I don't see many people doing some of these things that they always talk about. You know, you tell me that there is that one person that who was able to do this. She got married at 23, 25, and she was still able to do this, that, and that. I tell you, those type of people are very rare. I will tell you what happened to them. For instance, it's either those ladies are very focused ladies. These are ladies who don't allow distractions in their lives. They don't allow family pressures. They may be fortunate to have married a spouse who understood their goals. I'm telling you that a lot of these ladies, at the time they were discover themselves on time, they would have had these conversations with their spouse before they got married to them. Their spouse already understood their direction, and they were lucky that those men that they are married to agreed with them and made provision for them to be able to pursue some of these things that they wanted to achieve. So those ladies are actually in the minority. I'm talking about the situation of those in the majority, which are those that get themselves into this place and they are stuck. They are just stuck there, having the babies, attending to husband issues, going for one function in the village or the other, you know, and all those things that is required of them, and they're not really able to do anything else for their lives. And because these opportunities, one thing I can tell you, for sure, in these opportunities that are out there, is that you require a lot of time to process some of the things that you need to put together to make them work. You need to answer a lot of questions. Some of them you need to write essays. Some of them you need to bring in things from your past, from your lives, that I tell you, if you're someone that is not intentional, if you're someone who is always time choked and time pressured, you're not going to ever be able to do this thing. So that is the challenge. That is the problem that I see, that some of the things that are limiting our Nigerian women from taking advantage of these opportunities is when we put this men thing before them, and they find themselves, they get trapped in that place. They're not able to do these other things that are supposed to be important. And the effect, of course, is obvious. They are going to lose focus. Of course, they are the ones that will always complain they don't have money. Because if you don't take advantage of opportunities like this that are available for you to develop yourself and make yourself better, there is no how your income will get better. Your income cannot grow. It's not by prayers that our income grows. It's by taking advantage of these opportunities, because one door will lead to another open door. But by the time you're shut in there, you're doing those baby things, mother things, you didn't take your time to understand yourself and understand what things you wanted to do, you will not be able to find these opportunities. Because a few days ago, I already announced that the portals have opened up for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. This is a 6 weeks fellowship where um, people are taken from their country, all expense paid, to the United States. It's a leadership program where you get trained, and you're taught a lot of things to help you in your business, to help you in whatever thing that you're doing, and it's all expense paid. Are you going to be one of these people? Are you going to start working towards the next one? Because I know that every year Mandela Washington happens. And but the interesting thing about that fellowship is that it's for people between the ages of 25 and 35. And I think this year they even brought it lower. People 21-year old will be able to apply and all that. So think about it. What do you want to do with your life between those ages where people are telling you to go and lock yourself in that man's home? What what's going to be your choice about these things or your decisions? So let me read your thoughts in the comment section. Tell me what you think about everything I've said. Um, yeah, so I'm waiting to read from you. Yeah, so have a nice day. Bye.